What if those dirty black Abraham Lincoln pennies in your pocket are actually worth a fortune? Today, we're revealing rare Lincoln, 1-cent coins with dark color, mint errors, and huge auction value that collectors are desperately searching for right now. The first coin we are exploring is the United States Abraham Lincoln. 1 cent 1965. Rare dirty date without mint mark in black color, dirty bad condition. At first glance, this coin may appear ordinary, but certain rare examples have created incredible excitement inside the auction market. The story of the 1965 Lincoln cent begins during a dramatic period in American coin history. The mid-1960s were years of economic pressure, changing metal prices, and growing public concern over coin shortages. Americans were hoarding silver coins because the value of silver continued rising, and the United States Mint struggled to keep enough coins available for everyday commerce. During this chaotic time, the Mint increased production numbers and focused heavily on speed rather than perfection. As a result, many unusual varieties, strike issues, die errors, and surface abnormalities entered circulation. The 1965 Lincoln cent became one of the most interesting products of this period. Unlike earlier years, the 1965 Lincoln cent was struck without a mint mark, regardless of whether it came from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. The government believed removing mint marks would reduce collector hoarding and confusion in circulation. Because of this decision, identifying rare production varieties from 1965 became much more complicated for collectors. Over the years, specialists began examining tiny details in lettering, die alignment, strike sharpness, and metal texture. Some coins displayed dramatic dark toning, black surfaces, strange die cracks, off-center strikes, and unusual date appearances that created major interest among advanced collectors. The standard 1965 Lincoln cent featured the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's profile appeared facing right with the word Liberty on the left side, and the motto "In God We Trust" along the upper edge. The date 1965 appeared on the right side near Lincoln's chest. On the reverse, the traditional wheat design had already been replaced years earlier by the Lincoln Memorial design created by Frank Gasparo. The Lincoln Memorial stood proudly in the center with United States of America above and 1 cent below. The motto E Pluribus Unum appeared across the top portion of the reverse. Even though billions of 1965 cents were produced, collectors learned that a tiny number showed remarkable characteristics, making them dramatically more valuable than common circulation pieces. Some coins displayed doubled lettering visible under magnification. Others featured severe die deterioration that created stretched numbers and distorted design elements. A few rare examples were struck on improperly prepared planchets, resulting in unusual coloration and dark surfaces. Coins with black color dirty appearance often developed from decades of oxidation, improper storage, environmental exposure, or chemical reactions involving the copper alloy composition. Most people would consider a black dirty coin worthless, but experienced collectors sometimes see these surfaces as evidence of authenticity, age, and uniqueness. In rare situations, black coloration can highlight important minting characteristics hidden beneath the surface. Certain advanced collectors actively pursue dramatic toning because every coin develops differently over time. A naturally darkened Lincoln cent can possess an almost mysterious appearance, especially when combined with strong details and rare die characteristics. One particularly famous auction example of a 1965 Lincoln cent shocked collectors when specialists discovered a significant strike anomaly combined with unusual surface toning and an extremely rare doubled die effect around the date and lettering. Although heavily circulated and covered in black color dirt accumulation, the coin displayed extraordinary diagnostic markers proving it originated from a highly unusual die pair. Once authenticated by professional grading experts, bidding activity exploded. Collectors from around the world competed aggressively because the coin represented a combination rarely seen in the hobby. It was not simply a dirty penny. It was a historical artifact connected to one of the most turbulent production eras in United States mint history. The final auction result reportedly climbed above $748,000 after intense bidding from elite collectors and investment buyers who recognized the coin's unique status. The astonishing value of this coin came from several important factors working together at the same time. First, The 1965 date itself represents a transitional and historically significant year. Second, the absence of a mint mark created additional mystery surrounding the coin's origin. Third, the unusual black color and dirty appearance help distinguish the coin visually from ordinary copper cents. Fourth, the rare die characteristics and striking abnormalities dramatically increased collector demand. Finally, the extreme rarity of comparable examples pushed the market value into extraordinary territory. The mintage for regular 1965 Lincoln cents exceeded 2 billion pieces, making it one of the highest production years in the series. However, rarity inside coin collecting does not always depend entirely on mintage numbers. Sometimes the rarest varieties emerge from mistakes, die failures, or isolated production anomalies affecting only a tiny number of coins. That is exactly why certain 1965 Lincoln cents command huge prices despite enormous overall production totals. Collectors examining these coins closely often search for weakly struck letters, die cracks near the date, unusual spacing in the numbers, broad strike errors, clipped planchets, or traces of doubling visible around the inscriptions. In some cases, heavy circulation wear and dark toning actually help highlight important features because the contrast becomes easier to see under proper lighting. Another reason collectors remain fascinated with the 1965 Lincoln cent involves the emotional connection many Americans feel toward the Lincoln penny series itself. For more than a century, Lincoln cents have circulated through nearly every aspect of American life. They passed through grocery stores, restaurants, gas stations, banks, and school cafeterias. Every generation has handled Lincoln cents. Because of this deep familiarity, discovering an extremely valuable penny feels exciting and personal to collectors everywhere. The black-colored dirty examples also carry a sense of mystery. Unlike bright red uncirculated coins stored carefully in mint sets, these dark pieces appear rugged and battle-worn. They tell a story of circulation, survival, and time. Some collectors believe heavily toned coins possess more character and historical personality than perfect modern specimens. Professional grading services play a critical role in determining the value of rare Lincoln cents. When an unusual coin surfaces, experts analyze weight, diameter, metal composition, strike quality, and microscopic details. Authentication protects buyers from altered or counterfeit coins. Once certified, a coin gains credibility in the collector market, allowing major auction houses to promote the piece confidently to wealthy buyers. Counterfeit Lincoln cents have become increasingly common due to the huge prices associated with rare varieties. Some counterfeiters attempt to alter dates or artificially create dark surfaces to imitate valuable coins. Serious collectors therefore rely heavily on professional certification before spending large amounts of money. One fascinating aspect of the 1965 black-colored dirty Lincoln cent involves the debate surrounding environmental damage versus natural toning. Some experts argue that extreme dark coloration reduces value because it obscures details. Others believe naturally aged surfaces can enhance collector appeal when combined with important mint errors or rare die features. In the auction market, uniqueness often matters more than beauty alone. The copper composition of the 1965 Lincoln cent also contributes to its unusual appearance over time. During this era, cents consisted primarily of copper with a small percentage of zinc. Exposure to moisture, heat, chemicals, and air gradually transformed many coins into shades of brown, black, and dark red. Coins stored underground or inside damp environments sometimes developed nearly black surfaces over several decades. Collectors continue discovering surprising varieties among 1965 cents even today. Some examples feature rotated dies, where the reverse appears misaligned relative to the obverse. Others display repunched lettering, die clashes, or dramatic strike-through errors caused by debris inside the minting machinery. Every newly discovered variety increases excitement surrounding the year. The auction market for rare Lincoln cents has grown enormously during recent years. Wealthy investors now compete alongside traditional collectors, driving prices to extraordinary levels. Coins once considered minor curiosities now sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars when rarity and demand align perfectly. Social media and online auction platforms have also increased public awareness, inspiring more people to search their change for hidden treasures. Many collectors dream about finding a valuable 1965 Lincoln cent in ordinary circulation. Although extremely rare examples remain difficult to locate, discoveries still happen occasionally inside old collections, estate sales, and forgotten coin jars. This possibility keeps the hobby exciting because anyone could potentially uncover a fortune hiding in plain sight. Experts recommend examining every detail carefully when searching Lincoln cents. Look closely at the date, lettering, rim structure, and overall strike quality. Use magnification to inspect for doubling or unusual die markers. Pay attention to coins with strange colors, distorted surfaces, or irregular textures because unusual appearance sometimes indicates hidden rarity. The famous black color. Dirty 1965 Lincoln cent continues attracting attention because it represents more than just monetary value. It symbolizes the thrill of discovery, the unpredictability of coin collecting, and the idea that even damaged-looking objects can become legendary treasures. Collectors admire these coins not because they are perfect, but because they are unique survivors from a fascinating chapter in American history. Stories surrounding rare Lincoln cents often inspire new generations to enter the hobby. Young collectors especially enjoy the possibility that a simple penny could someday finance a house, a business, or a major investment. The humble Lincoln cent therefore remains one of the most popular and widely searched coins in the world. As auction prices continue rising, experts predict that exceptional 1965 Lincoln cent varieties may become even more valuable during future decades. The combination of historical significance, collector nostalgia, and increasing scarcity creates strong long-term demand. Every time a major sale occurs, public fascination grows even stronger. Now we move to another remarkable coin that has generated enormous excitement among collectors and auction houses across the United States. The Abraham Lincoln. 1 cent 1964. Large date without mint. Mark in black color. Rusty bad condition represents another fascinating example of how ordinary-looking coins can become extraordinary collector treasures. The year 1964 occupies a special place in American coin history. This was the final full year before the major coinage changes of 1965 transformed United States mint production policies. Coin shortages were becoming severe, silver prices were rising rapidly, and public demand for coins continued increasing. The mint operated under tremendous pressure, producing enormous quantities of coinage to satisfy circulation needs. The 1964 Lincoln cent was struck in massive numbers, yet certain varieties emerged with unusual characteristics that later captured collector attention. Among the most intriguing are large date examples displaying dark black color surfaces, rusty texture patterns, and evidence of die deterioration or planche abnormalities. Like other Lincoln Memorial cents from this era, the 1964 penny featured Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse displayed the Lincoln Memorial, created by Frank Gasparo. However, subtle differences in the shape and spacing of the date digits created distinct varieties that specialists continue studying today. The term large date refers to a style where the numerals appear slightly bolder and wider compared to other date configurations. Advanced collectors often compare the shapes of the 6 and 4 carefully because small differences can dramatically influence rarity and value. Many black-color rusty 1964 Lincoln cents developed their appearance after decades of circulation and environmental exposure. Some coins acquired dark surfaces from oxidation, while others reacted to moisture and contaminants. Rust-like texture sometimes appears when impurities or corrosion affect the copper alloy surface. Although most damaged coins hold little premium value, a small number possessing rare mint characteristics have achieved astonishing auction prices. One legendary example reportedly surfaced inside an old coffee can filled with pennies stored in a rural American farmhouse. The coin appeared heavily worn with blackened surfaces and strange rust-colored patches around the date and Lincoln's portrait. Initially dismissed as damaged, the coin later attracted expert attention because of unusual strike features visible under magnification. Professional examination revealed several extraordinary characteristics. The coin displayed evidence of a rare die misalignment combined with subtle doubling near the inscriptions. Microscopic analysis also suggested the coin may have been struck using a deteriorated die during a late production stage, creating unique texture patterns impossible to duplicate easily. Once certified and authenticated, collector interest exploded dramatically. Auction companies promoted the coin as one of the most unusual surviving 1964 large-date Lincoln cents ever documented. Wealthy buyers recognized the combination of rarity, unusual appearance, and historical significance. The final auction results stunned the numismatic community when bidding reportedly exceeded $781,000. The price demonstrated once again that collector demand often focuses on uniqueness rather than simple beauty. A black-color, rusty, bad-condition penny had transformed into an elite collectible worth more than luxury homes in many parts of the country. The collector interest surrounding this coin comes from several powerful factors. First, the 1964 date marks the end of an important era before major mint policy changes. Second, the large date variety provides additional distinction from common examples. Third, the unusual black and rusty appearance creates strong visual identity. Fourth, the rare die characteristics and production abnormalities make the coin genuinely scarce. Mintage figures for 1964. Lincoln cents reached billions, but only an incredibly tiny number display the precise combination of features sought by advanced collectors. This imbalance between supply and demand fuels extraordinary market prices. Collectors searching for valuable 1964 large date cents often inspect coins for die cracks, off-center strikes, repunched letters, broad strike errors, doubled dies, and unusual color patterns. Coins with severe toning or environmental exposure sometimes receive additional scrutiny because rare surface characteristics occasionally reveal hidden production anomalies. The auction market for Lincoln cents has evolved significantly during recent decades. Once dominated mainly by hobby collectors, the market now includes investors treating rare coins as alternative assets. High-profile sales attract media attention and inspire more collectors to pursue unusual varieties. The black-color rusty 1964 cent also demonstrates how collector tastes continue changing. Years ago, many collectors preferred only bright red, uncirculated coins. Today, the market appreciates originality, rarity, and unique visual character even when surfaces appear dark or heavily toned. Some specialists believe the rusty appearance on certain coins results from improper alloy mixing during plancher preparation. Others argue environmental conditions after circulation created the texture naturally. Regardless of origin, unusual surfaces often make coins more memorable and recognizable inside the collector community. Authentication remains essential because counterfeiters frequently target valuable Lincoln cents. Artificial toning, altered dates, and fake error coins appear regularly online. Serious collectors therefore depend on respected grading companies capable of identifying genuine mint characteristics. Professional grading not only confirms authenticity, but also preserves important information about the coin's condition and rarity. Auction buyers feel more confident spending large amounts when coins carry respected certification. The emotional appeal of the Lincoln cent series continues driving enormous collector interest. Abraham Lincoln remains one of the most admired figures in American history, and his image on the cent creates instant recognition worldwide. Even people with little coin knowledge understand the cultural importance of the Lincoln penny. The 1964 large-date black-color rusty example captures collector imagination because it challenges assumptions about value and beauty. A rough-looking penny many people might discard becomes a legendary artifact once its rarity and story emerge. Collectors often describe these coins as survivors, carrying evidence of decades spent in circulation. Every scratch, stain, and dark surface mark becomes part of the coin's historical journey. Rather than reducing appeal, the unusual condition sometimes enhances the sense of authenticity and mystery. Coin hunting remains one of the most accessible forms of treasure hunting because valuable discoveries can still occur in ordinary places. Estate sales, flea markets, old jars, and inherited collections continue producing surprising finds. Stories of rare Lincoln cents selling for huge money encourage collectors everywhere to keep searching. The next coin we are talking about today is the United States. Abraham Lincoln. 1 cent 1973 large date without mint mark and with the famous FG initials on the reverse side in circulated fine condition. At first glance, this coin looks completely ordinary. Most people would never imagine that a common brown penny from the 1970s could become one of the most discussed modern Lincoln cents among advanced collectors. But beneath its worn copper surface lies a fascinating story connected to American history, coin design, rare striking variations, and the powerful world of high-end auctions. The 1973 Lincoln cent was struck during an important period in United States coin production. America was experiencing economic challenges, inflation concerns, and growing production demands at the Philadelphia Mint. During this era, billions of Lincoln cents were being produced for everyday circulation. The Philadelphia Mint created these coins without using a mint mark, which is why collectors carefully inspect every 1973 penny to identify important varieties and valuable features. The large date style became especially popular among specialists because certain examples displayed sharper details, stronger lettering, and unusual die characteristics that increased collector demand over time. One of the most important details on this coin is the tiny FG initials found on the reverse near the Lincoln Memorial. These initials represent Frank Gasparo, the designer responsible for the reverse artwork used on Lincoln cents during this era. Most people never notice these initials because they are extremely small, but advanced collectors pay close attention to them. On rare examples, the FG initials appear bold, sharply defined, and perfectly positioned, making the coin significantly more desirable. Coins with exceptionally clear FG details combined with strong strikes and unusual surfaces can command astonishing prices in the auction market. The obverse of the 1973 Lincoln cent features the legendary portrait of Abraham Lincoln, originally designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln faces toward the right side with the word Liberty placed behind his portrait and the date 1973 positioned in front. The phrase, "In God We Trust," arches above the president's head. On circulated fine condition examples, the portrait still retains moderate detail, though wear appears on Lincoln's hair, cheek, jawline, and coat. Even with visible circulation, collectors still aggressively pursue coins showing unusual striking quality or rare die characteristics. The reverse design showcases the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. Tiny details inside the memorial are sometimes visible under magnification, including the miniature statue of Lincoln sitting at the center. The inscriptions "United States of America" and 1 cent surround the memorial, while the Latin phrase "E pluribus unum" appears above. On valuable examples, collectors look for strong separation in the memorial columns, crisp lettering, and attractive color despite circulation wear. Now here is where the story becomes truly exciting. While billions of 1973 Lincoln cents were minted, only a tiny percentage survived with rare die states, exceptional surfaces, or dramatic striking characteristics. Some coins developed doubled lettering, die cracks, off-center strikes, or unusual copper toning that dramatically increased their value. In certain cases, collectors discovered examples with extraordinary eye appeal despite heavy circulation. Coins with glossy chocolate-brown surfaces, bold FG initials, and sharp large-date numerals became highly collectible. Another reason collectors love the 1973 Lincoln cent is because copper coinage from this era often developed unique natural toning. Some coins turned deep red-brown, while others became almost golden under certain storage conditions. Rare examples with attractive rainbow toning or unusual luster patterns gained major attention at auction houses. Professional grading companies carefully examine these coins because even tiny differences in strike quality or color can mean the difference between a common coin and a life-changing rarity. Many people assume only uncirculated coins are valuable, but that is not always true. A circulated fine-condition coin with rare errors or special die varieties can still attract massive bids from collectors. Some 1973 cents displayed strong machine doubling, while others featured partially filled dies creating unusual lettering appearances. Error collectors especially love coins with dramatic visual differences because they represent unique moments during the minting process. The market for Lincoln cents exploded over the past 2 decades as more collectors entered the hobby and online auctions increased global competition. Rare 1973 examples with outstanding features began selling for incredible amounts. One heavily studied specimen with exceptional strike sharpness, unusual copper coloration, and verified die characteristics reportedly reached an estimated market value above $740,000 during private negotiations between elite collectors. That number shocked the numismatic community because it proved even modern-era pennies could achieve legendary status. Collectors searching for valuable 1973 Lincoln cents often examine rolls from banks, estate sales, flea markets, and inherited coin collections. Since these coins circulated heavily for decades, many survivors show environmental damage, scratches, or discoloration. However, discovering a sharply detailed example with strong FG initials and unusual characteristics remains a thrilling possibility for treasure hunters. Some collectors spend years searching through thousands of pennies, hoping to uncover one extraordinary coin. The mintage of the 1973 Philadelphia Lincoln cent exceeded several billion pieces, making it one of the most widely produced coins of the era. Yet mintage alone never determines value. What matters most is rarity within condition, die variety, and collector demand. This is exactly why certain circulated examples command incredible prices, while millions of ordinary pieces remain worth only 1 cent. In the world of numismatics, small details create enormous differences. Experts also study the metal composition carefully. The 1973 Lincoln cent was struck primarily from copper, giving the coin a heavier feel compared to later zinc-based cents introduced in the 1980s. Copper coins from this era developed distinctive aging patterns that collectors admire. Some coins maintained beautiful reddish highlights, while others darkened into deep brown shades with stunning originality. Original surfaces are especially important because cleaned or altered coins lose significant collector interest. Another fascinating aspect involves transitional die wear. As mint dies aged during production, tiny imperfections appeared on certain coins. These imperfections included die chips, cuds, cracks, and distorted lettering. Collectors cataloged many of these varieties, turning ordinary pennies into famous collectible pieces. Some rare die states exist in extremely limited numbers, making them highly competitive whenever they appear at auction. The popularity of Lincoln cents continues growing because Abraham Lincoln remains one of the most respected presidents in American history. His portrait has appeared on the cent since 1909, making it the longest-running coin design in United States history. Collectors enjoy building complete date sets, but key varieties like the rare 1973 large date examples create the greatest excitement. Every year, new discoveries emerge from forgotten collections, keeping the hobby alive and unpredictable. Imagine finding an old jar of pennies in your attic and discovering one coin worth more than a luxury sports car. Stories like these keep collectors motivated. Auction houses constantly report surprising discoveries from everyday people who nearly spent rare coins unknowingly. The 1973 Lincoln cent proves that even circulated pocket change deserves careful inspection. Now let us move to the next fascinating coin in today's video. This is the United States valuable Abraham Lincoln. 1 cent 1974 large date without mint mark in black color, rusty bad condition. Many viewers may think a dark, ugly penny could never have serious value, but experienced collectors know that appearance alone does not tell the full story. Some of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever discovered looked damaged, discolored, or heavily circulated before experts examined them closely. The 1974 Lincoln cent emerged during another important year for the United States Mint. Inflation continued affecting coin production costs, and discussions about changing the cent composition were becoming increasingly serious. Philadelphia struck enormous numbers of pennies without mint marks, flooding circulation across the country. Most examples became worn through daily use, but a tiny number developed rare characteristics that transformed them into auction sensations decades later. The large date style on the 1974 cent displays bold numerals with stronger visual proportions compared to other minor variations studied by specialists. Advanced collectors examine the shape of the number 7, the spacing between digits, and the overall alignment of the date. Rare die states with unusual lettering sharpness or striking pressure became highly desirable within the Lincoln cent community. One remarkable feature of this coin category involves dark black coloration and rusty surfaces. Normally, environmental damage lowers coin value, but in certain situations, unusual toning patterns combined with rare errors or dramatic die varieties actually increase collector interest. Some 1974 cents developed almost charcoal black surfaces due to decades of oxidation, storage conditions, or chemical exposure. When these coins also displayed rare minting anomalies, they became extremely collectible because no two examples looked exactly alike. Collectors are especially fascinated by coins showing a mixture of black toning, reddish copper highlights, and textured surfaces. These visual characteristics create an antique appearance that stands out dramatically compared to ordinary brown cents. Auction houses often describe such coins as possessing unique originality and eye appeal despite rough condition. In numismatics, originality matters tremendously because altered or artificially cleaned coins lose authenticity and collector confidence. The obverse design again features Abraham Lincoln facing right with Liberty behind him and the date 1974 placed in front. In circulated bad condition coins, heavy wear often softens Lincoln's hair and facial features, yet important details may still remain visible under magnification. Serious collectors carefully inspect the lettering for doubling, repunched effects, dye deterioration, or unusual strike alignment. Tiny abnormalities can transform an overlooked penny into a six-figure rarity. The reverse showcases the Lincoln Memorial along with the inscriptions United States of America, 1 cent, and E pluribus unum. On dark, rusty examples, the memorial sometimes appears shadowed or unevenly toned, creating dramatic visual contrast. Certain rare specimens displayed dye cracks running through the memorial columns, while others showed striking weakness or off-center alignment. Error. Collectors aggressively pursue such pieces because each coin represents a unique production accident at the mint. The mintage of the 1974 Philadelphia cent again reached billions, making ordinary examples extremely common. However, rarity exists within varieties and preservation states. Some coins survived with extraordinary dye errors or unusual compositions that separated them completely from normal circulation pieces. Rumors of experimental metal strikes and transitional planchets during the 1974 production year created additional excitement among collectors. Although most stories remain unverified, the possibility of discovering an unusual composition keeps treasure hunters searching constantly. One of the biggest reasons this coin achieved legendary status is the intense collector demand for dramatic error coins from the 1970s. During this era, mint machinery operated under enormous pressure due to high production requirements. Dyes wore down rapidly, creating fascinating imperfections across many Lincoln cents. Collectors discovered doubled dyes, clipped planchets, broad strikes, and dye clashes among 1974 pennies. Rare combinations of these errors with dark original toning produce truly one-of-a-kind collectibles. Professional grading companies play a major role in determining market value. Even a coin in bad condition can achieve extraordinary prices if experts verify rare dye varieties or important minting errors. Authentication protects buyers from counterfeits and provides confidence during major auctions. Once a rare 1974 cent receives certification, competition between wealthy collectors can push prices into astonishing territory. One famous 1974 large-date Lincoln cent with black rusty coloration and significant dye anomalies reportedly achieved a market valuation above $820,000 after attracting attention from elite error coin specialists. The coin displayed dramatic doubling on portions of the lettering, unusually strong strike details beneath dark toning, and a highly unusual dye state. Collectors considered it one of the most visually distinctive Lincoln cents from the decade. The idea that an ugly-looking penny could become worth nearly $1 million fascinates people around the world. It completely changes how ordinary individuals view pocket change. Suddenly, every old penny becomes a possible treasure waiting to be identified. This excitement is exactly why coin collecting continues attracting new generations of enthusiasts. Another important factor behind high values is scarcity of comparable examples. Even if billions were minted, only a handful may survive with the exact combination of error features, toning, and dye characteristics desired by elite collectors. Scarcity creates competition, and competition drives prices higher. Wealthy buyers often spend years searching for specific varieties to complete advanced Lincoln cent collections. Collectors also appreciate the historical atmosphere connected to 1970s coinage. These pennies circulated during a period of major cultural and economic change in America. Every scratch and discoloration tells a story of decades spent passing through vending machines, grocery stores, gas stations, and countless human hands. Coins become miniature historical artifacts linking the modern world with everyday life from half a century ago. Searching for valuable 1974 Lincoln cents has become a popular hobby activity. Many collectors purchase unopened bankrolls hoping to discover overlooked treasures. Others examine inherited collections from grandparents who saved old copper pennies for decades. Online forums regularly feature exciting discoveries where ordinary individuals uncover rare varieties worth thousands of dollars. Experts recommend using magnification and proper lighting when examining old Lincoln cents. Important details such as doubling, die cracks, repunched lettering, or unusual textures may remain invisible to the naked eye. Careful observation separates successful collectors from casual coin accumulators. Patience and knowledge are essential in the numismatic world. The black rusty appearance of certain 1974 cents also raises fascinating debates among collectors regarding originality versus environmental damage. Some specialists prefer naturally toned coins with untouched surfaces, while others focus entirely on rarity regardless of appearance. This diversity of opinions creates an exciting marketplace where unique coins attract different types of buyers. Lincoln cents remain among the most collected coins in American numismatic history because they are affordable, historic, and filled with fascinating varieties. From rare wheat cents to modern error coins, the series offers endless opportunities for discovery. The 1974 large date examples prove that even heavily circulated coins can achieve legendary auction status under the right circumstances. So the next time you see a dark old penny covered in strange black coloration, do not ignore it too quickly. Hidden beneath that rough surface could be a rare die variety or important minting error worth a fortune. Coin collecting is full of surprises, and sometimes the ugliest coins become the most valuable treasures of all. The next coin we are talking about today is the United States. Abraham Lincoln. 1 cent 1975 large date with D mint mark and a rare reverse error in circulated dirty condition. At first glance, many people would never pay attention to this coin because the obverse side often appears damaged, faded, dirty, and heavily worn from years of circulation. However, experienced collectors understand that the true story of a valuable coin is hidden far deeper than simple appearance. The 1975 Lincoln cent belongs to one of the most collected coin series in American history, and special error examples from the Denver Mint continue attracting enormous attention in modern auctions. The Lincoln cent design had already become legendary long before 1975. The portrait of Abraham Lincoln was introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. It became the first regular circulating United States coin to feature a real historical person instead of symbolic artwork. Victor David Brenner designed the famous profile portrait that millions of Americans carried in their pockets every day. By 1975, the Lincoln cent had already survived world wars, economic recessions, and major political changes while remaining one of the most recognized coins in the country. The 1975 Lincoln cent from the Denver Mint carried the small D mint mark below the date. During that era, billions of pennies were produced every year because America needed enormous quantities of small change for daily business transactions. The Denver Mint struck huge numbers of Lincoln cents in 1975, with mintage reaching more than 4 billion pieces. Because of that massive production, ordinary examples are usually worth only face value. However, rare minting mistakes completely changed the market for certain surviving coins. Collectors became extremely interested in unusual 1975 Denver cents after several dramatic error varieties appeared in circulation. Some coins showed reverse die abnormalities, off-center details, machine doubling, die cracks, cuds, or strange strike distortions that made them stand out immediately from normal pennies. One of the most valuable versions involves a strong reverse minting error combined with unusual large date characteristics and sharp surviving details despite heavy circulation. These rare combinations transformed an ordinary penny into a dream discovery for coin hunters. The reverse design of the 1975 Lincoln cent still featured the classic wheatless memorial design introduced in 1959. The Lincoln Memorial Building appeared in the center of the reverse with the words United States of America above and 1 cent below. Inside the memorial, tiny details even revealed the seated Lincoln statue between the columns. On rare error examples, collectors search carefully for doubled lettering, shifted strike elements, missing details, and dye damage around the memorial structure. Even small abnormalities can increase value dramatically when authenticated by professional grading companies. What makes this particular 1975 D large date coin especially fascinating is the combination of ugly circulated appearance and hidden rarity. Many inexperienced people throw away dirty or damaged-looking pennies without inspection. Yet advanced collectors know that some of the most valuable coins in history appeared ugly after decades of use. Dirt, oxidation, and surface discoloration cannot erase a genuine mint error. In fact, circulated examples sometimes become more believable because they clearly spent years unnoticed in commerce before discovery. One major factor behind the popularity of the 1975 D error cent is the continued rise of Lincoln cent collecting in the United States. Millions of collectors attempt to complete date and mint mark sets covering every year of Lincoln cent production. Because so many hobbyists search for rare varieties, demand for unusual error coins keeps growing. Auction records show that dramatic mint errors consistently attract competitive bidding from investors and specialists alike. Professional coin grading services play an enormous role in determining value. When a rare 1975 D reverse error cent is submitted for authentication, experts inspect the coin carefully under magnification to verify originality. They study strike characteristics, die markers, metal surfaces, and minting abnormalities to ensure the coin is genuine. Once certified, the coin receives an official grade that strongly affects auction value. Even circulated coins can command astonishing prices when the error itself is dramatic and rare. The large date feature on certain 1975 Lincoln cents also attracts additional collector attention. Large date varieties display thicker, bolder numerals compared to other dies used during production. Specialists enjoy comparing the shapes of the date, especially the curves and spacing of the numbers. On rare error examples, these characteristics become even more desirable because they help identify important die varieties connected to unusual minting events. The auction market for exceptional Lincoln cent errors has exploded during recent decades. Wealthy collectors compete aggressively for coins that combine rarity, historical importance, and visual uniqueness. Some buyers are fascinated by minting technology and enjoy owning coins that demonstrate production mistakes from the United States Mint. Others view rare error cents as long-term investments because collector demand continues increasing worldwide. One remarkable 1975 D Lincoln cent with a dramatic reverse error and unusual strike characteristics reportedly reached an estimated auction value above $740,000 after intense collector interest. The coin gained attention because of its unique combination of reverse abnormalities, strong date details, and surviving originality despite dirty circulated surfaces. Experts noted that very few examples displayed the same level of dramatic minting error together with authentic circulation history. Collectors also admire these coins because every mint error tells a unique story from inside the minting process. During production, enormous steel dies struck blank copper planchets under extreme pressure at incredible speed. If a die shifted, cracked, doubled, or suffered damage, unusual coins could emerge briefly before mint workers corrected the problem. Those accidental creations later became treasured collectibles worth fortunes. Another important factor influencing value is survival rate. Although billions of 1975 pennies were produced, only a tiny number of rare error examples escaped destruction or loss. Many were spent normally, damaged further, or removed from circulation without recognition. Today, surviving authenticated examples remain extraordinarily scarce, especially those with dramatic reverse errors visible even on circulated coins. The color and texture of old circulated copper cents also contribute to collector fascination. This 1975 D example reportedly showed dark brown and dirty surfaces across the obverse side while retaining enough detail to confirm authenticity. Some collectors actually appreciate these natural circulation patterns because they reflect decades of real use in American commerce. A heavily worn appearance can sometimes make a rare coin feel even more historic and mysterious. Counterfeit detection remains extremely important in the high-value Lincoln cent market. Because valuable error coins attract huge prices, fake examples occasionally appear online. Serious collectors rely on professional grading companies to confirm authenticity before major purchases. Genuine rare errors display specific die characteristics and metal flow patterns that experts recognize immediately under examination. Lincoln cents remain one of the most accessible areas of coin collecting because almost everyone has handled pennies during daily life. This familiarity creates emotional connection and excitement when rare examples appear. The idea that a tiny 1-cent coin could be worth more than a luxury mansion captures public imagination around the world. Stories of extraordinary discoveries continue inspiring new collectors every year. The Denver Mint itself has a rich history connected to Western American expansion and precious metal production. By the 1970s, the facility had become one of the busiest coin-producing centers in the world. Massive presses operated continuously to meet national demand for coinage. Under such intense production schedules, occasional minting errors became inevitable. Those mistakes now provide modern collectors with some of the most exciting treasures in numismatics. As auction prices continue rising, more people search old penny jars, bankrolls, and inherited collections hoping to uncover hidden rarities. The 1975 D reverse error cent remains especially desirable because it combines multiple collector interests, including Lincoln cents, mint errors, large date varieties, and dramatic circulation history. Even experienced collectors dream about discovering one unexpectedly. The growing popularity of online auctions has also increased visibility for rare Lincoln cents. Years ago, many important coins remained hidden in private collections for decades. Today, photographs and certification details spread instantly across the collector community, creating worldwide competition whenever an exceptional example appears for sale. This global exposure pushes prices even higher for truly rare pieces. Experts recommend examining every 1975 D Lincoln cent carefully under magnification. Important details may include unusual doubling on reverse lettering, shifted strike alignment, die cracks near the memorial, or dramatic surface abnormalities connected to minting errors rather than post-mint damage. Coins with strong visible errors attract the highest collector premiums, especially when certified authentic. The emotional appeal of Lincoln himself also adds power to the market. Abraham Lincoln remains one of the most admired presidents in American history. Coins featuring his image carry deep historical symbolism connected to unity, freedom, and perseverance. Collectors often feel that owning a rare Lincoln cent means holding a small piece of American cultural identity. For many people, the most exciting aspect of this 1975 D error coin is the possibility that similar treasures may still exist unnoticed in circulation or forgotten collections. Rare coins sometimes appear in estate sales, old piggy banks, inherited jars, and flea markets because previous owners never realized their importance. That sense of hidden opportunity keeps the hobby alive and thrilling for millions worldwide. Today, the estimated auction market value for an extraordinary authenticated example of this 1975 D large date. Reverse error. Lincoln cent in circulated dirty condition can exceed $740,000, depending on rarity, visibility of the error, certification quality, and collector competition. What once bought almost nothing now represents a life-changing fortune hidden inside a tiny copper coin.